Hi there, my name's Alexia, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my personal story and how I got involved with reselling. So, I am married and I have a toddler, and I currently have a full-time job, and I am a part-time reseller, but soon to be full-time reseller. So, how did I go from basically, I have a PhD, so it doesn't make me special or anything, but I do have one. And I am a scientist slash teacher in a local high school. So how did I go from trying to be a scientist to selling online? That seems to not fit. So basically it boils down to graduate school was a very stressful experience, to say the least, but I thought maybe it was just the situation there and that it wasn't really grad school, or it wasn't that I didn't like it, but more that my working conditions were not ideal. So I pursued another position after that and found that it was kind of the opposite, and I still quite wasn't finding a good fit. And then I started teaching, working back at the university where I got my PhD, and I really enjoyed it. But even though I enjoyed teaching, which is what I was doing, even though I enjoy teaching a lot, like I love helping people, and I love helping people figure out that they can do something they don't think they can do. Like that just brings me a lot of joy. But I still felt like I was tired of working for other people. So having to be there at a certain time, having to do whatever they say when I'm there. Maybe it's a little bit of rebellion in me. I'm not a very rebellious person, but maybe this is my streak. I don't know. But I just really got tired of working for other people, and I really just wanted to be in control of my time. If my son was sick, it was like, oh my gosh, we got to take off time from work. Who's going to take off when? My mom got sick. She got diagnosed with lung cancer, and then it moved to her brain. And so I found that all of a sudden I wasn't able to go take care of her or be with her like I needed to be or wanted to be. And that really bothered me, that I couldn't decide what I do with my time. Here I am in my 30s, and I have to ask somebody else, can I go visit this person? Can I go do that? And I know that's just the workforce and the way it is, but for me personally, that got old, and it was getting old fast. Obviously, I like the security of a job, and I like the money that comes from that, but I wanted something more. When I was in Alabama for a year working, I started to get this itch, this sense that the internet has potential, but I wasn't quite sure exactly how to tap into that. So I started looking into Etsy, and I tried that for a while, but honestly, and it's probably great, I'm just not super creative, and it takes a special kind of creativity to put yourself out there in such a unique way to be successful on Etsy. So I sold like 5 things, which is still, it's okay, but I'm pretty sure 2 of those went to my friend, which is still fine. I made money, but it was more of a hobby than anything else. Then I got pregnant. We moved back to Tennessee, and I started thinking, like, I don't want to leave my child with somebody else when he or she is just 6 months old or 6 weeks old. Like, that seemed crazy to me. And I was really worried about money because I had just started a new job, and I just came there already 3 months pregnant. So I was like, I'm not going to have maternity leave. I'm not going to have any money. And the institution that I work at only gives like 2 weeks paid vacation, like paid maternity leave or something. So I was really worried about that. So I started looking online for ways to make money. I looked into freelancing. I thought, well, how can I use my science degree? Well, I found some options, but I just couldn't quite tap into that, or it seemed like it was a lot of work for not a lot of pay. And I didn't want to have to be working around the clock doing other people's scientific writing and getting like $100 for that. So then I started looking into, I found Udemy or however you say it, and found that there were all these courses about different things to try, and one guy was doing drop shipping on eBay. So I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Nothing to have at home. I just sit here on my computer and I like list items from other places. That's not a really good idea, but I tried that for a while, and that just totally didn't work. It just didn't seem to make sense, the profit margin there, because it just didn't work. But then I found a lady who was doing, I don't remember her name, and I'm so sorry, but basically she was teaching how to sell on eBay, just like thrift items. And I was like, what? You can sell items from the thrift store on eBay? Like, I just didn't understand that concept. And so I watched that video, and I was like, holy cow, I could totally do that. And I remember asking my husband, I was like, okay, I want to try this. And I was like, I took like $100 budget. And I remember going to Goodwill. I was like, I don't know, 5 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant. And I go there and I'm like trying to look around and I'm like, I have no idea where to start. This place is huge. But I feel like I learned a lot, right? I started looking on YouTube and just watching and listening and watching and listening to people and listening to what they were selling. So I found some items and I remember buying a doll and I spent $37. And I remember buying this doll that was like from the 80s and it sold to somebody in China for like $12. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just made $12. Well, not really, but I sold something for $12 and I bought it for 50 cents. Oh my gosh. And so from that point on, I was hooked. I loved the idea that it was up to me. And, you know, that can be good or bad, right? That selling on eBay, basically, it is awesome because you're in control, but it's not awesome because you're in control. Sales aren't going to happen if something happens to you, if you're not listing, if you're not working. So it's not like a regular paycheck where stuff keeps coming in. Now, of course, you can list items and they'll keep selling. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Back to the story. You'll notice that I'm kind of ADD in my tendencies. Okay, so basically I found this eBay course. And I've been selling on eBay for the past 2.5 years. I've been putting very part-time effort. So one of the things that was super challenging for me was still is, balancing working full-time, having a baby, being a wife, taking care of the house, doing all the stuff you need to do, and doing eBay. That is so hard. So I found that often I was sourcing more than listing. Definitely guilty of that. But in the past, probably 6 months or so, I've really been ramping up my efforts, trying to figure out how to balance that and trying to figure out how to really make my eBay business go to the max, because my job ends at the end of May. It technically ends in September, but I cut it short at the end of the school year, at the end of May, to be able to give myself this chance. So I'm basically going to be jumping with, I don't want to say I have no plan. I have a plan, but I'm currently not matching my income. So I'm definitely leaping with a plan that I know is going to work. eBay, what I can tell is that it works. So the more items I list, the more money I make. And I just love, love, love doing it. And one of the things that I love also is teaching. And so I started a blog called liberatedmommy.com where I started talking about some of the things I was going through as far as figuring out how to resell, figuring out how to time manage, all of that kind of stuff, figuring out how to deal with the 2-year-old and his terrible twos while trying to source or while trying to list or whatever. And then I recently started selling on Poshmark. And I love selling on Poshmark. I like Poshmark. It's a lot easier than eBay, but there's a smaller market. So I'm just trying that. It's good to diversify your income, your sources of income, I guess. And, yeah, so I started this blog to try to teach people how to sell on eBay, how to sell on Poshmark, mostly moms, trying to target moms, because I know that it's hard for moms to figure out how to balance all those things. And while there are lots of resellers that are talking about general things about how to run your eBay business, I feel like there are videos on how to start, but I want to really focus on those people who don't know what to do and who can really benefit from the teaching and the step-by-step of how to get started. So that's my story. Like I said, I'm going to be going full-time in a month and a half, and I am so, so excited. Last week I worked from home and I loved it. It was amazing. So, yeah, thank you for stopping by my channel. Thanks for watching this video to learn a little bit more about me, and I can't wait to get to know some of you. So thanks.